Well students, now how to find the kinetic energy of the electron in a given orbit? Kinetic energy of the electron. See, we are assuming that electron is moving in a fixed circular orbit. In that case, what can we say? Centripetal force should be equal to the electrostatic force, correct? Centripetal force will be what? mv square by r. So this will be equal to k ze into q1 q2 by r square. This is what we have. If you put the value of z as 1, then it becomes hydrogen atom. Now from this equation what we can get is, one r here gets cancelled out, so we get an equation like this: mv square is equal to k ze square by r, right? Now what is kinetic energy? Now kinetic energy is what? Half mv square, na? mv square is this much. So therefore kinetic energy will be what? Therefore kinetic energy is nothing but half k ze square by r. Got it? So kinetic energy is k ze square by 2r. We got kinetic energy. What about potential energy? Now you will say, how is that the system is having potential energy? Yes, system will have potential energy because the electron is placed. Electron is having an arrangement with respect to the nucleus. It is placed in a certain fixed circular orbit. Hence its arrangement is defined, and with every arrangement there will be a potential energy. Now here there is an electrostatic force, hence the potential energy is electrostatic potential energy. Now here we will not take the gravitational potential energy. Here it is the force between the two is what? It is electrostatic in nature, hence the potential energy will be electrostatic potential energy. So what will be the kinetic energy? So what we can write also, potential energy is nothing but, what is electrostatic potential energy of two charge system? It is k q1 q2 by r. I repeat, if you remember in electrostatics we have discussed this. We are saying that electrostatic potential energy is k q1 q2 by r, and we have to consider the sign of the charge as well. Here Z is the charge on the nucleus, hence it is positive, and this E is the charge on the electron, which is negative. So we have to consider this. So what we get? Potential energy as minus of k Z square by r. This is what we get as potential energy. Now minus k Z square by r, right? So you can correlate potential energy and kinetic energy. Then comes total energy is what? Kinetic energy plus potential energy. Total energy is kinetic energy plus potential energy. So kinetic energy is how much? K Z square by 2r. How much is potential energy? Minus k Z square by r. Now if you simplify, what you will get? Minus k Z square by 2r. This is what we get. Simplify it. You will get an equation this. This is total energy. So what we got now finally? So energy of electron, see we know what is the radius. We have seen r is proportional to n square. We have found out, na? We have found out the equation. Now if you remember r, what did we get the value of r? I will get it here only. So we get m square v square is equal to k z square m by r. So m square v square is nothing but we can write here mv. We know mvr. Angular momentum postulate. Use the angular momentum postulate. mvr is nh upon 2 pi. So mv is nothing but n square h square upon 4 pi square r square. This is k ze square m by r. So what we have now? 1 r here cancels out. So what we get r as? R is equal to n square h square upon 4 pi square k z e square m. This is what we got r. Substitute here r. So that will come out as minus k z e square by 2. Correct? And r is what? N square h square. Right? And then 4 pi square. So 4 pi square k z e square m. Observe here. What we are getting? Total energy. You see here. Everything is a constant. See here. Everything is a constant. You can cancel here 2. You get 2 pi square k square z square e power 4 m by h square n square. Isn't it? What you are getting? Minus 2 pi square k square z square e power 4 m by h square n square. Now if we pass on all the values of constants 2 pi square k z e and everything, if we pass on, we are getting energy of electron in the nth orbit. I think if you remember, it is minus 13.6 sorry, minus 13.6 by n square electron volt. I think this is what you have remembered, na? The energy of electron. See here how it comes. This is in electron volts. This is in electron volts. You can convert this into joules. 1 electron volt is 1.6 10 power minus 19 joules. We can convert that. But then, to just make it easy to remember, I have written it in electron volts. And observe the most important part. It is negative. Energy is negative. What is the significance of the minus sign here? This energy, we find it is negative. What is the significance of minus sign? See, this is the energy of the electron in the nth orbit. N is orbit number. That is what we have seen everywhere, na? N is the orbit number. So this equation En is equal to minus 13.6 by n square electron volt is the energy of an electron, total energy of electron, we can say in the nth orbit. And we are getting it as negative. What is the significance of minus sign? The significance of minus sign is, since energy is negative, the system, the electron is highly stable in that orbit. The electron is highly stable in that orbit. That is the significance of minus sign. So it has no tendency to come out of the orbit on its own. And in chemistry, I think you have learned something called ionization energy. And what is that energy? Start the tape. It is the energy required to remove an electron. See how the statement goes. Go after the meaning of the statement. Energy is required to remove an electron. See, if the electron was unstable, why do you need energy? It will come out on its own. But because energy of the electron is coming negative, it is highly stable. So in order to remove it, we have to supply energy. The moment we supply energy, it becomes positive. Positive energy means unstable, and it can be plucked out from the orbit. That is exactly why we say it as energy required to remove an electron from a given orbit, and that is coming as negative. This is the significance of minus sign. Please understand. This is exactly how we can correlate. So total energy is coming this. So students, what you should do is, you should know the relationship of kinetic energy, which is kZe square by r, to r. Potential energy, so the relation between kinetic energy, potential energy and total energy should be known, and we get energy of electron in a given orbit. Now coming to the drawbacks. When we drawback of Bohr's theory, see students, observe, in Bohr's theory, every parameter, you talk of radius, you talk of velocity, you talk of momentum, you talk of kinetic energy, you talk of potential energy, total, everything is equation from the theory only, equations. There is nowhere any even remote chance of verifying this. That is the beauty of Bohr's model. It is completely mathematical model. He has envisioned this model sitting in a place with pen and paper, and he derived everything with the limited means. Nowadays, so we are having more means, and you see what we are doing. That's a different story altogether. But see, all what he found out is mathematical, and no rocket science is involved here. Now, when the drawback of his theory was labeled, that time it was labeled that his theory is not able to explain the splitting of the spectral lines. This was the first drawback. It could not explain the existence of spectral lines. Fine. That is what, modern theory, Lyman series, Balmer series, they are the spectral lines. So it was said that these could not be explained on the Bohr's theory. Fine, it was said. During the lifetime of Bohr, he could not do that, accepted. Fine. Then it was said that splitting of the spectral lines, once spectral line is not known, where is the question of splitting? Again it was labeled splitting of the spectral line in the presence of electric field, magnetic field, so on and so forth. That is Zeeman effect and Stark effect and all. Students, everything is contained in the theory, provided we know how to extract the result from the equation that Bohr has given us. If we are not able to extract, it is our limitation, not the theory's limitation. And then, when Lyman and Balmer proposed these, that we have found some spectral lines, just imagine, it was considered as a breakthrough in science. But then the Nobel Committee, they are genius people. What they said in one line, these things are experimental proof of Bohr's theory. Finished. What they thought they had found a breakthrough in science, actually they did confirmatory proof of Bohr's equations. How? Let us see that. This is the beauty of the people who work around with equations. See, otherwise it would have been a disaster. It was like depriving Bohr of Nobel Prize and giving people who have derived result from his theory Nobel Prize. That would have occurred. Now let us see how it was justified. Now, see, we have derived what? We have derived energy of electron in a given orbit, right? So I will keep that and remove everything. So we have seen how energy of electron in a given orbit can be obtained. This is what we have, energy of electron in a given orbit. So if I take EM will be minus of 13.6 by n square electron volt. Here I have considered Z as 1. That is why Z is not there. Otherwise in the equation there was Z. Okay, so this is nth orbit. This is what we have. Correct? Now let us assume that the electron jumps from nth orbit to mth orbit. What we are considering? Electron jumps from nth to mth. Right? Initial is n, final is m. Fine? So what is the energy transition? Delta E will be called as EM minus EN, final minus initial. Right? So final EM is what? minus of 13.6 by n square minus of minus 13.6 by m square. Sorry, this is m and this is n. So we can write it as 13.6 1 by n square minus 1 by m square. This is what we can write. This is electron volt. Got it? This is what we have. Now see the beauty of this equation. Till this we can say that Bohr's theory only. We have not done anything new. After Bohr came modern theory, Planck's theory. After Bohr only came modern theory, Planck's theory and all. In Planck's theory, what we say from modern theory, Planck's theory you can say, or modern theory. E is equal to h nu, that is hc by lambda we say, energy released. So this delta E can be said as what? hc by lambda. This can be said energy released will be hc by lambda. So 1 by lambda will be what? This is 13.6 upon hc. You have to take h and c in the proper terms. By 1 by n square minus 1 by m square. Now the best part is this you called as Rydberg's constant. Modern theory, this you call as Rydberg's constant, and this you call as wave number, right? So now see the beauty of this. So 1 by lambda is, you called it as Rydberg's constant and you write it as 1 by n square minus 1 by m square. Correct? This is what we can write. Now see, what is Lyman series? See how from this we are getting Lyman series. Lyman series means when the electron jumps from higher orbit to first orbit. From the higher orbit means m will be equal to 2, 3, 4, 5 like this, and n will be 1. This is called Lyman series. And what we get? 1 by lambda is equal to Rydberg's constant 1 minus 1 by m square. Go on putting the value. See, it is there in Bohr's model only. How is it different? How is it different? It is extension of Bohr's model. Till here we have Bohr's model. This only we extended, nothing new. We clubbed Bohr's model with the modern theory, that's all. Then what did Lyman-Balmer do? They altered m and n. What? That is a breakthrough in research or what? Nothing. That is Indian research. See? That is what we must know, how to play around with the equation, students. Then only it is our skill, and that is exactly what is required. So this is Lyman series. Same way, if you want Balmer series, in Balmer series what we have is electron jumps from higher orbit to second orbit. See, if you want to see how exactly it looks like what is the diagram for it, I will show you. This is the diagram which we can show for the different spectral lines. Let us say this is the n is 1 and this is n is 2, this is n is 3, n is 4, n is 5, n is 6, like this we have. Now what is Lyman series? Lyman series is when the electron jumps from higher orbit to first orbit. See, this is Lyman series, one line. This is also Lyman series. 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 This is Lyman series. Balmer series from higher orbit to second. So this is Balmer series. This is Balmer series. This is also Balmer series. Paschen series. This is Paschen. Bracket. Fund. This. See? Lyman series. See, this is exactly what. Go on changing the value of n and m here. We will get all the series of the lines. So students, this is exactly what is the beauty of Niels Bohr's model of structure of atom. Everything is contained in it. Now the splitting of the spectral lines, that is the Zeeman effect and the Stark effect. Stark effect is splitting of the spectral line in presence of electric field, and Zeeman effect is the splitting of the spectral line in the presence of magnetic field. That is called Zeeman effect. Now let me tell you the reason for it. Now I think in chemistry you have done something called orbital configuration, correct? Orbital, s orbital, p orbital, d orbital. In s you have no further subdivision, but in case of p shell you write px, py, pz. This is splitting of the spectral lines, px, py, pz, and again in d also you have splitting, na? So that is exactly what is the spectral lines. That is exactly defined. There is no problem there. So students, this is exactly how we can understand what is called the structure of atom based on Rutherford's model and the Bohr's model. Now what type of question will come from this chapter? Bottom line, right? You are waiting for that only, I guess. Questions which will form is, first type of question, which is the longest wavelength in, let us say, Lyman series? Which is the shortest wavelength in the Balmer series? That type of questions are very common. Students, understand this. I will show you how to find, be it Lyman, Balmer, Brackett, Fund, Paschen, any series, how to estimate longest and shortest wavelength. In order to identify the longest and the shortest wavelength, we need to understand the equation properly. See here, this equation, 1 by lambda. If I say Rydberg's constant, and I have here 1 by n square minus 1 by m square. For Lyman series of lines, n will be 1 and m will be 2, 3, 4 like this up to infinity, correct? See, two options you have. First option I am taking, n is 1 and m is 2. First option I am taking. The second option I am taking, n is 1 and second option m is infinity. In m we have range from 2 to infinity, na? If m is 2, we will get one wavelength, and if m is infinity, I will get one more wavelength. Two wavelengths we will get, na? Because n is constant. If I change the value of m, I will get two wavelengths. Let us see which one is longer and which one is shorter. Don't guess or don't cram this. No need. See, first I am finding 1 by lambda, 1 I will write. For this case, it is r and I will get n is 1 and I will get m square means 4. Correct? So what we get? 1 by lambda 1 is RH into 1 minus 1 by 4 is 3 by 4. Correct? So lambda 1 is how much? 4 by 3h. This is what we get. Fine? This is what we get, lambda 1. Now let us go to second one. I will write this as 1 by lambda 2. What we get? RH. And what we get? 1 minus 1 by infinity. And 1 by infinity is what? 0. So what we get? Lambda 2 is how much? 1 by RH. So please tell me which one is greater. See here, this equation, see here. This is nothing but 4 by 3 into 1 by RH I can write. Na? What is 1 by RH? Lambda 2. Isn't it? So lambda 1 is 4 by 3 times lambda 2. So 4 by 3 is greater than 1. Na? So suppose if I say lambda 1 is 1, let us assume RH is 1. So lambda 2 is 1. Lambda 1 will be 4 by 3, which is greater than 1. So which is longer of the two? This one is longer, na? This is greater, na? So longest wavelength, if it is said, remember, take n is 1, m is 2. If it is said find the shortest wavelength, this is what you have to take. Please understand. Don't get carried away by infinity. This is what will happen in the majority of the time. You will get carried away by this term infinity, and you will feel because infinity is there, this should be longest. Wrong. Why I will tell you that also? Because here you are taking 1 by lambda. Why are you forgetting that? 1 by lambda you are taking, and 1 by lambda if you take and m gives longest, so lambda will be shortest because reciprocal relationship exists. That is how it can be justified. I have justified by taking calculation. Same thing you can do for Balmer series. Take ns2, ms3, 4, 5 up to infinity. So take one case ns2, ms3. Take ns2, ms infinity and find out the relationship. You will be able to make out which one is longest and which one is shortest. That is exactly how we can make out longest wavelength as well as shortest wavelength. This is a very common type of question which is asked from structure of atom.